Todd is great and he is always baked. Morning sun shining, we can't be late. Coffee brewing, tunes on the go. Knock knock, it's the Todd and Joe Morning Show.
Knock knock, bitches.
It's your boy, Buffy the Vampire Sailor, Dr. Peter Dankman, and lowercase Dylan.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know I needed to have a funny display name. Sorry, I dropped the ball on that one.
You know, that's
No,
it.
my
Todd kind of started
thing-
that.
Yeah, so back up real quick. I started doing the wrestling podcast with them. That's how I met Joe and Garrett. Then we started doing it from home when shit went down with the studio we were doing it at. So I was like, you know what? And this was now about a year ago. I was like, you know,
Yeah, we're almost right to the year anniversary. I'd have to look at the date, but we're pretty much
Pretty
on
close.
there.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to find a list of like, funny pot names. Like people's names just switched around to marijuana. So between Wrestle Fandom and then we started this show months after that, I still have not run out of names to go through. Now there are some, and we talked about this, Joe and I have before, where like I won't use them. Like I just won't. I'm not gonna. Just shit that's just to me like,
So-
no, not touching that. I ain't touching that.
So, like an
Fucking
example,
football.
Dylan, like remember the joke I made before we started recording?
Mhm.
Who the main person was in that? And you changed the last name to Spliffler?
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that Todd refuses to use.
Nope. Ain't gonna
Which
do
he
it.
absolutely should refuse to, and I would personally cancel him for making such a horrible, horrible joke because I don't want to be associated with anybody who would make jokes of that nature.
Answer yourself.
Fair.
So no, you didn't drop ball or nothing. It's just
All right.
something I've done just because I was bored. Actually, this one wasn't off the list. This one I was looking at the list and I was like, I don't even know why. It just fucking like, as I said to Joe earlier, it just popped in there. So I was like, yeah, Dr. Peter Dankman. I don't know if
So-
the rest you could change, but anyway, so it's
So
us,
we're like
and
almost
we have
3 minutes
Dylan.
in, and nobody knows who lowercase Dylan is.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
So
well,
Dylan has joined us. I've known Dylan for a long time. He's another person that like kind of knows me from those pictures at the beginning of the fucking show. Like
Young Todd.
I can
yes,
dig up a
Todd.
couple more to give you for the montage too.
Yes, you can actually. I
Oh,
think you have
please
a few.
do.
There's
Please
some
do.
videos.
Well, because I was just recently going through like all my old like cell phone pictures and just making sure they were all backed up. So like from 2006 onward, I got some Todd shenanigans.
Ooh.
Well, one thing we love here on the Todd and Joe Morning Show is shenanigans.
I
That is
figured as
true.
much.
No, Mr. Dylan Avery is joining us today from Otsego Media, Louder Than Words, whatever you want to call it. Everything
Otsego
that
Media is
you've
fine.
been kicking the door down and fucking taking names with.
Oh,
But I
what names
also
did you
sent-
take?
Many.
Is one of the names that you took a very, very legendary and popular Man of the Sea?
Yes, Popeye.
Oh, oh.
The Sailor Man.
Yes. So we have you
Oh.
have Popeye the Slayer Man, which has, I mentioned it a while ago, and Joe was like, what? He was like, that movie's like a huge buzz and like the horror, like
But
underground
I
world
had
right
heard
now,
about it
like-
independently of Todd. And so one of my best friends, his son, first year at Oswego going for film. He wants to be a director someday.
Mhm.
So I shared movie stuff with him all the time. And it was something that we had exchanged between each other like a week and a half, 2 weeks before Todd even brought it up. And I'm like, bro, are you serious? I was like, I just watched that trailer like a week ago. What do you mean? Like, it kind of blew my mind quite a bit. Like, I was a little, I'm not going to lie. And it doesn't really happen easily, but I was a little starstruck. Like, holy shit, that's fucking amazing. Like,
No, it's cool. It's actually like broken containment, and it's not. It's left the circle of people that are just involved in it and are
Right.
promoting it. Like it actually like kind of went viral a little bit, so it's pretty cool.
kind of like our YouTube channel is not broken containment yet. It's the same 100 views, which 57 of them are me every week. But
And that comes out what? So this is the day we kind of break fourth wall here, so people are aware that we are recording.
well, no, we're not. We're time travelers. Actually, that's what we've explained to the viewers. We're time travelers. So we're actually coming to you from the past. We're going to the future. So it's kind of like Back to the Future 2.
Are you going to kill Hitler as a baby, or is that not?
So actually, that's a discussion I don't think we've had on mic, but it's a question I've had with friends.
I know. And I think we discussed it at one point in time.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a what if, and
yeah,
my alternative to going back in time and killing Hitler would be going back in time and seducing his mom before she met his dad, and then. If I didn't go back far enough, then I would just arrange Hitler's father's murder, and then I would again seduce Hitler's mom, and then I personally would raise Hitler, so he would like the name Hitler wouldn't like have that condemnation of evil and just nasty, ugly, horrific things. It would mean something like when you hear the name Oprah, like Hitler could have been Oprah,
Adolf Gandhi. The sky's the limit.
Das geht in Auto. Das geht in Auto. Das geht in Auto.
But see, that like I said, if everything happens for a reason, as terrible as those things that happened were, what if they didn't? Would something of even worse happened?
Right. It's the whole butterfly effect thing. Like, I think that movie, like in my mind, if time travel was actually possible, like I think that is more of like how it would go if you did that. So I don't think it's we just went off the rails real fucking quick, didn't we? Oh, that went off the rails a little bit. We're spiraling.
That's why we're here.
So. Yeah, we spiraled into time travel talks, and what are we, 7 minutes into the podcast? Sheesh. Okay, so Dylan, you work in film, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
yes,
explain to us a little bit about you, what you do, how you got there, and then Todd will hit us with some Todd news.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I've been involved in like media and making movies for most of my life now. It kind of started dipping our toes into it in like a visual arts class in high school, and then applied to a film school twice down in Purchase, New York. Didn't get in both times, but I was like, I'm still going to make movies anyway. I think that kind of worked out because instead of me going to film school, I made a little documentary that kind of went a little viral. And
and what documentary? Hang on, I lost my change. What movie would that be?
Just this little movie called Loose Change. No big deal.
Oh, now for those of you who
no big deal, who live under a rock and have no fucking clue what that is.
Well, at this point,
for those of you who were born this millennia, so you probably don't remember that a certain event like it's funny. Like we're talking about this because like yesterday we were at work and we realized two of the new people that got hired were not alive when 9/11 happened.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like that's wild, but continue on there, bud.
So made that, that took over for a couple years because we made some revisions and it was kind of like a whole thing. And then we all kind of went our separate ways for a bit. I moved out to California, found my way to Los Angeles, spent some time out in LA from like 2011 to 2019, made another police brutality documentary called Black and Blue while I was out there. Nice. Got hired to do a CBD documentary, and got on a couple like narrative sets. I don't think I was ever even on like a narrative feature film set. I was on like, a lot of, like shorts and things like that.
Right.
And my best friend Corey had moved out like a couple years after I did, so we were both kind of out there just watching other people try and fail to make movies and kind of participating in a lot of things that ultimately went nowhere. So in the middle of 2019, for different reasons, we came back to New York, so Corey moved back here in like May 2019. I came back here in June. And he originally wasn't going to stay here in Oneonta. He was just like here as like a staging area before they figured out where they were going to move. They were talking about like Vermont, Massachusetts, all this stuff. And then eventually like decided like, oh no, I'm just gonna settle down here because he had a daughter and they're talking about having a second one on the way. His parents were here, Danielle's parents were here, his wife, and they wanted their kids to grow up near their grandparents, and they just wanted to be here where they had some roots. And so I wasn't entirely sure if I was still going to stay here in Oneonta or if I was just here temporarily. But then, Corey got his house, after a couple months back and forth and contracts and all that. And shortly after he moved in, he hit me up one day and he's like, yo, I wrote a couple ideas for some movies on my whiteboard here at the office. You should come over and we should pick one and we should write one of them. So I went over there, and on the whiteboard there were 3 ideas. The first one was about like an Uber drive that goes terribly wrong or something, or like someone who gets stuck in an Uber for like
I like that idea. That sounds...
But Stuber with God, what's his name? Oh my God. How am I completely blanking on his name? Drax, the guy who plays Drax.
Batista.
Yes, Dave Bautista. Holy shit. So Stuber with Dave Bautista had like just come out. So I was like, well, that was kind of already been done, so to speak. Like, what else you got? I can't remember what the second idea was, but then the third one was man's house gets hit by asteroid. And I saw that and I was like, that sounds great. I don't know what that movie is, but that sounds interesting. We should do it. Because that was kind of his thing at the time, is like, oh, I just bought this house. I'm going to put all this work into it. And before you know it, knowing my luck, it's going to get hit by an asteroid or something. And so, we spent, at least those next couple months, like writing it, workshopping it, getting it to a really good place. The plan was to shoot it in 2020. And then something happened in early.
What happened in 2020? I don't recall.
Nothing.
Try not to recall.
So,
an asteroid hit the whole fucking planet is what happened.
Well, it started in New York City, and then once it hit New York City, I was like, all right, well, this is over. So, originally when that started happening, we're like, all right, well, we're probably not making anything anytime soon, probably not a feature film. So we kind of backburnered it a bit, and we kind of kept working on it a little bit and still wanted to get the script right. We were like, well, whenever the time is right, we'll still make this thing. So we kind of pumped the brakes on shooting it in 2020 a little bit, but still, kept working on it. And we got it to a pretty good place. And then, cut to like May 2020, gas was like $1 a gallon. And, we were, Corey and I were both on unemployment because, the place I was working was shut down because I was shooting weddings for a friend down in Jersey. And that wasn't happening. So I had unemployment and gas was cheap. So I put the dog in the car and I took a little cross-country drive out to LA just to see some people, hit the road. Tried to shoot some stuff on the road because I took like Route 66 most of the way out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, because I wanted to like interview some business owners along the way and like ask them about COVID and being on Route 66 and all that. But a lot of people, the first couple of places I stopped, like nobody really wanted to talk. And so I was like, all right, well, I'll just shoot some B-roll, I guess, and just whatever. Right. So had a fun little drive out to LA. And then as I was coming back across the country, I was just kind of thinking about it. And I don't know, it's kind of like the, just the driving inspiration, like when you're on the open road and listening to music and, you got the whole world in front of you and you just kind of like feel
you're in
like
your thoughts.
You're in your thoughts and you can just think about all the possibilities. So I was thinking about it and I sent Corey a little voice message. I was like, we should shoot Asteroid. Like we should shoot it. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We have the government dumping money on our heads. We have a script that's pretty much ready to go. We should just put out a casting call and see who responds and take it from there. So we did. And then cut to August 2020, we were shooting Asteroid. And like, it's just, what a great time. I was even talking to someone last night at the film festival about it. Because it's actually one of the actresses that was in Popeye The Slayer Man. Because I was telling her, because we were just recently shooting some behind the scenes interviews for it. for like a little BTS doc for Slayer Man. And I still had Mila's card that she had sent me after the shoot. And so I actually like held it up on camera and like read it to camera. She's like, "Oh my God, you still have my card?" I'm like, "Of course I do." And she even said, she was like, "Yeah, like no set that I've been on since Slayer Man has been as fun as Slayer Man." Like, she's like, "I had such a great time there. You guys were all so great to work with." And every set I've been on after that, I've just been comparing it to Slayer Man. And so it's the same thing with Asteroid, where like so many of the actors and actresses, and like we still talk like all the time. They're like, "Oh man, that was such a great time. Like, I'll always have like such a fondness in my heart for Asteroid, and just the time that we had, and how cool everyone was, and how great the casting was." Like,
Right.
it really was kind of like, not really lightning in a bottle per se, but it was definitely like just a great time.
Stars
Like,
aligned for everything to just work out perfectly.
Stars aligned, found the perfect cast. I mean, everybody was just like, "I can't believe like how perfectly cast this movie is." Like, when I read the script, like these are basically all the people I was picturing.
Right.
So we made Asteroid, and then we, got that out the following year.
I do have the trailer for that. We can watch.
Oh,
so people
should
can see.
we share the trailer with the folks at home, or
Yeah,
I think
we'll
we
play
should
the
throw the
Asteroid
trailer
trailer,
together.
in the
and
car,
then
wherever they're watching this.
yeah, let's see, Asteroid. There you are. Can everybody see?
Good morning, I'm Leslie Ann with your morning mix.
What a beautiful summer day today here in Oneonta with plenty of sunshine on tap.
You just go into town and try to get us connected. It'll make Zoe happy, and you know how much she didn't want to do this.
Oh, no, this isn't good at all. Sir, you can't get internet.
Like, not even a little bit? Big news day, huh?
And NASA's making some huge announcement. Yeah, they've been talking about it all day.
We predict that an asteroid
Will strike somewhere within the continental United States within the next 72 hours.
Hey! Hey! Hello?
It's gonna hit your house.
Come again.
Spooks. They're watching you.
I'm not running anymore.
great speech. I'm sure the asteroid will be very moved.
No internet, really? Not even a little? Yeah, I just figured the government would step in and like send a rocket up into space and blow up the asteroid.
Well, you might have heard that there is a possibility that we will be removed from the United States, so we are on our own.
We have a president that would rather ignore the whole situation than deal with it.
My family already left me. Yeah, reporters showing up. Agents walking through my bushes, and an asteroid is about to hit my house.
Soon. Asteroid coming soon.
There you go. That's Asteroid.
Wow. So like I like the angle that it appears it's going with that. Like I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah. And
but I think one of the best parts is A, the cast is great. But it is all shot like in and around Oneonta.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, apart from like
local.
Yeah, apart from our ending at Secret Caverns, like pretty much all shot in and around Oneonta, and
That's
it's
awesome.
like it was perfect for the small town vibes we were going for. So yeah.
And see, it's rare you find that you can find a place that, is small but big enough to have the community like that, but still beautiful enough, even though like during the wintertime it blows ass around these parts because it looks dead. But
Yeah.
it's still got that city and rural where you can, like show people like the true beauty of upstate New York, to hopefully maybe get other, as you guys kind of have, other people interested in like filming in the area, and obviously which brings a lot of positive, to any area like that.
Right. And like even like the landscape shots and everything just from the trailer, like it's so picturesque because it does, like all the hills down there and everything are it's just for something that you want that outside vibes. Like to me it's real apparent. What the fuck's the movie Krasinski did at Little Falls? The alien movie where you can't make
Quiet
Quiet Place. Like,
Place, yeah.
like it makes sense to me. Like knowing Little Falls, knowing like how it has those big hills and like all the different valleys and everything for something like that. Like using that scenery, using that landscape in such a manner, it almost becomes its own character.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
Like,
sure.
and it like that. Like I was super impressed. Like that, just how that was shot. Like looked awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And I mean that was kind of the thing too, is like it's so beautiful here in the summer, and like we really wanted to like capture that and just kind of show that to the world. So it was the perfect first film for us, you know.
Good.
So
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. So before we move on to Popeye, Todd, please tell me you have a world record for me.
This one is like, it's an extra special one today. I will have to admit, it is a special.
TI News, where the useless news comes first.
All right, so Dylan, been doing this for a bit now. Normally, what it's been is like world records, like Guinness World Records, left and right. Ridiculously, like we have realized how many just fucking stupid world records there are in the world from reading these. Like there was a dude that got a world record for drinking a liter of lime and lemon juice separately each and out of a straw in like under a minute.
Yeah.
is this are these Guinness records?
Yes, like some of them are like legit Guinness records.
So the interesting thing about Guinness, 1 second. Are you taking off, my dear? Okay.
See you later.
I'll see you later.
Okay.
So Guinness is basically like a you pay to get those awards, like because you not only have to like pay to have someone there from Guinness to like adjudicate and verify that you're doing the thing, but then you even have to pay for like the plaque. You have to pay for the frame that the plaque comes in. So it's like it's basically, and I'm not trying to like,
oh no,
you know, I'm not trying to piss in your Cheerios, but it's just funny because you're like, this is like some ridiculous shit, and it's basically someone who's like, well, I can do this ridiculous thing and I got 10 grand to burn, so I'm gonna call up Guinness and have them show up. So
yeah, it's just weird. Like a lot of them, like the odd news. Like when I'm like odd news, it's like this world, because they are stupid. This first one is not a world record. It's just stupidity. So, guys, I mean, even the first fucking sentence is just really all I should have to read. A Brazilian man who shoved a dumbbell in his rectum needed to get it yanked out by surgeons.
What the fuck?
A whole dumbbell? What kind of
what
kind of
weight?
weight class are we talking here? We're talking like a 10 pounder or a 20 pounder? Or...
Please tell me it's not like a 25 pounder.
So
is it like one of those
part
like
of me-
small like running weights that you just like hold in your
Yeah,
hand
I
while you
think
jog?
so.
Or...
The unidentified 54-year-old waited. It gets better. I didn't even read this all. Waited 2 days before seeking medical attention after failing to extract the 2 kilogram, kg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like what, 4 pounds?
Metal weight.
I think that's actually less. Hold on. 4.4 pounds. You're right.
Yeah. So this dude shoved a 4-pound dumbbell in his ass and then waited 2 days.
What is walking around with 4-pound dumbbell in your hands like?
I would have to imagine he was trying to fix that situation himself first before having to seek medical attention.
Oh
And also,
God, what would fucking possess you?
I hope he
hold
didn't
on.
have. I hope he didn't have to drive to the hospital too.
Yeah. He turned up to a hospital in Manuus complaining of abdominal pain, nausea, and being unable to defecate. Huh. Wonder why? You had a 4-pound fucking weight in your ass. Like, why can't I shit? I don't know why I can't shit. Like,
I want to shit it out. I want to shit it out.
So after an examination of his rectal region found no sign of what might be causing his symptoms. How far was this up there? Doctors ordered an x-ray of his abdomen.
Abdomen?
Shut up.
Abdomen.
I took a really big hit earlier. I am fucked. Medics who suggested the unusual case was of a sexual nature said the man was uncooperative during the physical exam.
Hey, it's sensitive down there.
The X-ray revealed a dumbbell, which is about 8 inches long, was lodged where the colon meets the rectum. Damn near killed him.
That's good.
That was all the way up there.
Medics sedated the man for their attempted extraction involving surgical tweezers, but couldn't remove the dumbbell. Left with no option, the team opted for manual extraction involving the surgeon shoving in their forearm. Oh, man.
Oh.
It's hilarious how stupid people are.
What the
Holy
fuck?
hell. So, this next 3 are world records.
Okay. All right, let's bring it back down.
Whew, my heart. An 18-year-old from India. Now, I don't know. Like, to me, this is kind of like a weird world record because it's something the dude can't control. An 18-year-old from India was awarded the Guinness World Record for the hairiest face on a person when officials determined he had 201.72 hairs per square centimeter of skin.
What the fuck?
Lalit Pitar,
who is sitting there and going, you know what? I have more hairs per square centimeter than you, Todd. And Dylan, I absolutely have more hairs per square centimeter than you.
It's like,
I
saw a picture.
Let's call him up. Let's do it. Let's do a test, guys.
So Lalit Pitar earned the male version of the record after earned the male version of the record after living with a rare hair growth condition called hypertrichosis, which is also known as werewolf syndrome. The condition is believed to only occur in 1 out of 1 billion people, with only about 50 documented cases since the Middle Ages. Patidar has hair over 90% of his face and has since he was a child. He told Guinness World Records that other children at school were scared of me when they started knowing me and talking to me. They understood I was not so different from them. It was just on the outside that it looked different, and I'm not different inside. He said people still sometimes tell him he should have their hair removed from his face. There is not much to say to people about that. I tell them I like how I am and I don't want to change my look.
He's Chewbacca.
Basically.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Next one, another world record. This just made me, made my stomach go like, an iron stomach speed eater broke a Guinness World Record by eating 25 Carolina Reaper chili peppers in 4 minutes and 36.26 seconds.
Did he die after? Did his insides melt?
Yeah, that's
what the fuck? That can't be legal.
Mike Jack, a Canadian YouTuber famous for his high tolerance for spicy food, broke the Guinness World Record for the fastest time to eat 25 Carolina Reaper chili peppers at Goat Fest in Kitchener, Ontario. Let's see. Carolina Reapers have a Scoville Heats unit measurement of about 1,641,183 compared to about 4 to 8,500 of the average jalapeno pepper. Reapers were considered the hottest chili peppers in the world until the debut of Pepper X last year. I might make it look easier than it is, but I'm burning up here. I really feel it, Jack told Guinness World Records. The peppers, they really hurt a lot. Jack holds many, here's another stupid one. Jack holds many Guinness World Record titles, but not all of them spice related. He broke a world record last year by drinking a Capri Sun juice pouch in 21.71 seconds using a paper straw.
The fuck?
Hi, I'm Mike Jack from the YouTube channel Mike Jack Eats Eats. I recently earned a Guinness World Records title for the fastest time to eat 25 Carolina Reaper chili peppers. This isn't my first Guinness World Records title. I also have Guinness World Records titles for last time to eat 100 Carolina Reaper peppers.
Jesus Christ.
Last time to eat 50 Carolina Reaper peppers. Fastest time to eat 100 ghost peppers. Most ghost peppers eaten in 2 minutes. And a few others. So right now, to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about the attempt. Not because of the heat. I know I can handle the heat, but just because of the speed involved. You got to weigh each Carolina Reaper pepper before the attempt. Each one has to weigh at least 5 grams. These peppers were a bit overweight. A lot more, pepper to get down in a short amount of time. Here you go. 1 pepper in. There's 2 peppers in. There's 3 peppers in. Getting them in pretty quick there. Just so you know, the average person, they're going to bite into one of those peppers, and they're not going to want to take a second bite after that. They're extremely...
that's called a normal person.
Yeah, they were the Guinness World Records title holder for.
Yo, I bet you he's into some BDSM bullshit in the bedroom.
It was,
my man is a glutton for punishment.
Put my fist in my...
Rub that Carolina pepper in my eye.
Right. Oh, he's not even wearing gloves.
It might not look like it.
He's a sick
might make
fuck.
it look a little easier than it is, but I'm burning up right here.
See the pain in his
I
eyes.
really feel it.
Oh yeah.
You can tell he lost his soul a while ago.
It's a misconception that they burn you. They're gonna like burn a hole in your guts or in your throat or stuff like that. They hurt a lot. It's all just a mind trick.
The mind trick, guys.
I wouldn't
called
go eating,
being psychotic.
That
is the mind trick.
You're not a experienced professional like myself. Here we go, last pepper. Sit her down. Gotta make sure here that my mouth is totally empty, so I don't get disqualified. Don't want that to happen for sure.
Yeah, we don't want that. Crazy guy. Oh.
All right. Now that my stomach's on fire, let's finish off. It is a world record. It crosses over into the path of another podcast we might do, Wrestle Fandom Radio, Tuesday nights. So, I don't know if you saw this or not. I was actually chatting to Dylan yesterday about this whole John Cena thing. He's not a wrestling fan, but he now understands that John Cena's a bad guy. Anyway, Cena... What's that? Go ahead, man.
Well, it's just like I was telling you, Todd. It's just like all I saw on Twitter was that there was some kind of scandal with John Cena, and I thought it was like a real scandal. Like,
it is real, Dylan.
Well, you know what I mean.
It is real to us. Our hero, our Captain America, put down the shield and became an agent of Hydra. That is what happened here.
Yeah, apparently.
So when John Cena delivered a swift kick in the nuts to Cody Rhodes this past Saturday in Elimination Chamber, turning heel and siding with The Rock in the process, it was a moment that shook up the wrestling world as everyone knows it. Indeed, while heel and baby face turns happen multiple times a year, or in the case of Paul White, multiple times a month, a turn like Cena's arguably hasn't happened since July 1996 when Hulk Hogan dropped the leg on Macho Man Randy Savage and betrayed WCW to form New World Order, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. For that alone, Cena's turn was noteworthy, but as it turns out, it was also record-setting. A bit of irony, given Cena's turn may have been motivated by his quest to break Ric Flair's record for the most world title wins in wrestling history. According to Guinness World Records, Cena's heel turn this past Saturday represented the longest time between turns in WWE history. So Cena got an inadvertent world record. A quick look at Cena's history shows that likely checks out. The last time the WWE legend was a heel was all the way back in 2003, when he was still deep in his Doctor of Thugonomics phase and working his way up the card. He would officially turn face on the November 6, 2003 edition of SmackDown, which means his face run lasted a total of 7,786 days. This record not only shatters WWE history books, but likely the overall wrestling history books as well, and completely eclipses the aforementioned Hogan's face run, which lasted over 5,420 days between 1981 and 1996. So, yeah.
TI News, where the useless news comes first.
So, after Asteroid, we get to where we're at now. But I have a question for you. If you wanted a great place to get great bud, you know
Yeah.
where you can go, Dylan?
Joe's Buds Canvas Company.
Yes.
Wow.
In Syracuse.
You already know. And Todd, I know you know. Where am I going? If I hop in the car, I'm going, but I don't know where I'm going. What am I plugging into that GPS?
You're plugging in 4658 Onondaga Boulevard next to Wegmans behind Limp Lizard. I mean, we talked about this. Joe did confirm that Limp Lizard is actually a pretty good restaurant. So they are not affiliated with us, but grab
They can
some
be if they want to be.
Yeah, oh yeah. Grab some dank
I will
bud.
affiliate the shit out of some barbecue.
Yeah, hell yeah. Grab some fucking dank bud, edibles, vapes, whatever. Stop at Limp Lizard, for some takeout. So you got some good weed, you got some good food. Your day is fucking set right there. So hit him up. Joe's Buds at 46. Hey, what up, dog? 4658 Onondaga Boulevard. The dog has entered the room. The dog
Dr. Bones
is here.
Dr. Bones. So after Asteroid, you had like you said, you guys had like an amazing experience. Everything came together. How do we get to Popeye? Is there a stop between that?
Oh yeah. No, we've since Asteroid, we've done one feature film every year. So in 2020 we did Asteroid. 2021 we did this kind of a heist thriller, sort of, mostly just like a action movie called Bringing Back Dead. And that happened because our producer from LA that we brought on Asteroid just to like check our paperwork and make sure we were good to go for selling it. And he actually recommended us to the distributor ITN. So he saw what we did with Asteroid. He saw how little we spent on it. They had this heist movie that they were trying to do like out in LA, but would have cost them like 300-400 grand. So they asked us for a budget breakdown to do it here in Oneonta or the Oneonta area. We did. He liked the numbers and we got the job. So
Awesome.
Bringing Back Dead, we did that in 2021. And then after that was Ouija Witch in 2022, which will actually be screening tonight at the Made by Women New York Film Festival at Foothills here in Oneonta, which will be in the past by the time this airs. So Ouija Witch, that was our third film, and that did kind of lead to Popeye, because the director of that, Robert Michael Ryan, when we were done shooting, he was like, I had such a great time shooting this movie here. Like, I don't want to shoot anything anywhere ever again unless it's back here in Oneonta. And we were like, sure, man, cool. It sounds great. Because I mean, it's just, in the film industry, there's things that you'd like to happen, and there's the things that actually happen. So it was like,
right.
Cool, that'd be great. And then 2023 was Zombie Apache, and that's actually a movie that I brought out here from LA from an old person that I used to work with out there. I edited a documentary for him, and he had been struggling for years to get a feature film done. So he wrote this kind of like cheap little horror comedy script, and when I read it, I was like, dude, this belongs in upstate New York in the fall. Like, you need to bring this to upstate New York. It'll be cheap to shoot, it'll be beautiful in the fall, you should do that. And so we did. So fall of 2023 we shot Zombie Apache, and then in the spring of 2024 we shot Popeye, and this year I don't know what we're going to shoot. We haven't gotten anything yet, so we'll see.
No, I do have the trailer for Popeye.
Great. And yeah, and so that's the thing. So Robert Michael Ryan, the director of Popeye, and because Kyle Carvin, who was the star in Asteroid, who has also been kind of involved in all of the Jeff Miller films that have been brought to us. Jeff's that producer from LA I had mentioned, because they had all kind of like developed the story. Well, because I was actually staying at Kyle Carvin's like baseball Airbnb over the winter, because I needed to get out of where I was staying in Otsego, and it was just a nice place to stay for cheap over the winter. So when like spring of 2023 rolled around, and he was at the house just kind of like cleaning up and doing some landscaping and stuff, I was like, so man, what's the next movie? What are we gonna do? And he's like, well, you know about the Winnie the Pooh horror film? I was like, of course I do. He's like, well, in 2025 Popeye goes public domain. I already knew right there. I was like, oh my God, are we going to shoot a Popeye horror movie here? He's like, we're working on it. Like, we're working on the story. We're trying to get the script done. And I was like, Kyle, we have to do that. Like, you have to do that. Like, that is the greatest idea ever, and I cannot wait for us to shoot that. And so we did last spring, and here's the trailer.
What the hell is all this stuff for?
It's the equipment I checked out for my documentary.
Oh, is this that pirate man thing you were going on about in class?
Sailor Man. Tonight's the last night we can get inside.
They're, aware of the charming stories circulating about this place.
I don't believe in ghost stories.
He's not a ghost. The Sailor Man is real. He doesn't take kindly to visitors stopping at his doorstep.
If she's just doing some school project, then why won't she just pick the phone up?
Yeah, what should I do?
She said they're going to be at the old candy factory, right? Let's go down there.
Do you know where the factory closed down 20 years ago? There was a spinach contamination.
Oh, yeah. What I am. Yeah.
That looks so awesome.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I did watch the first 5 minutes of the other day, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes is out there on the internet if you want to watch it. By the time this airs, the movie will be coming out within a couple days. So we have a limited theatrical run. I don't know exactly what that means. So probably like LA, New York City, maybe like Texas, Chicago, something like that. But the coolest thing is that we're actually also going to be doing a 1 week run here at Southside Cinema in Oneonta.
Fuck yeah.
Kyle had reached out to the owner and he was like, "Oh, a movie shot right here in Oneonta and it's already getting a theatrical run? Hell yeah." So it's actually pretty cool. You can go to Fandango right now and type in Popeye The Slayer Man and Southside Cinema will come up. It's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
I haven't found any other dates or any other theaters yet, so I imagine they're still like kind of lining that up. But it's pretty cool. I mean, like to grow up here in Oneonta dreaming of making movies, and now here we are. We made a movie in Oneonta. We have been, but we, our fifth feature, we made it here in Oneonta, and it's going to be showing at the theater here in Oneonta. Like, it's
that's awesome, man.
That's like a cool full circle moment.
Absolutely.
Like, so, question I have for you is, because you've done so many different kind of types of film, just from the ones you've talked about with like Loose Change, Asteroid, and Popeye, where do you find yourself most drawn to? Because I know you got your start in more of the documentary aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which parts do you feel like is the reason you do film? That's why. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's tough because like Loose Change was obviously a big deal. And obviously like I said, it was a big deal, but I mean, it's a documentary and it's not like, it wasn't what I was trying to do, which I guess is why it happened. I was just trying to make a little documentary in my spare time to get some things off my chest, and it kind of turned into this global phenomenon that took over my life and everyone else's life around it.
What did what's his face tell you there? Gandolfini.
Oh yeah. Because James Gandolfini, Tony Soprano, he was financing a restaurant here in Oneonta, and I was on the construction carpentry crew of it. And so this is like 2001 into 2002, or like 2 into 3, I think. James had financed the restaurant. It was done. It was a big opening party. He came up from the city for the opening. The night was winding down, and James was kind of just at the bar. He had brought up like some friends and I think a couple other like smaller Sopranos cast members. but he was just kind of at the bar. The night was winding down, and I kind of wanted to just pull him aside and ask him a question. So I did, and I, basically I was working on the script for Loose Change because it was originally, it was originally supposed to be a narrative feature film, fictional. So at that time, I was just working on that script and, thinking about how to pull it off. Well, because I remember because they're, because it was obviously like a private, like kind of invite only kind of event. And so like the whole night you could just see people just like wrapped around the outside of the building, like just trying to get a look at James Gandolfini. And, he's, by all accounts, and from my experience, he's always been a very gracious person, but I could still kind of see like just that pressure of the fact that like everyone was outside looking at him.
Yeah.
So I kind of led my conversation with like, so like, is acting worth it? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, is being a big famous actor like worth all of the things that you have to deal with as a result? God, like what did he even say to that? I don't remember his initial response, but I know that what he said later on was like, if there's nothing else that you can do, be an actor. Is basically what he said. Like if you've got nothing else going on and you can't think of what else to do with your life, you can be an actor. He's like, are you trying to be an actor? I was like, no, I'm actually like, I'm trying to be a director actually. And he was like, all right, well, if that's the case, if you want to be a successful director, you have to have something important to say to the world. And I was like, okay, I think I have that. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, that was basically it.
roll.
That was all I needed to hear. And so, worked on the script for a while, and then eventually, turned into a documentary, and then the rest is history. So, I mean, again, like that was all like a really intense time in my life. I mean, like really like in terms of like my fondest production and like the fondest thing that I've made, I think I do have to go with Asteroid, just because it's like, we came back here after so many years in LA, not making any feature films of our own, barely getting on other people's, and still like always wanting to just make a feature film. And then we came back home to our hometown and we did it. And now here we are, like still making movies all these years later. So I mean, like I think I do have to go with Asteroid, because again, it was a roll of the dice and it was a gamble, but at the same time, like 99% of the movies that don't get made, they don't get made because they never get their budget. And we had like government unemployment money just like raining down on our heads, and it's just like, this is never going to happen again. Like, knock on wood, but I mean, this is the only time in our lives where the government's just going to be dropping money on everyone's head, and we should use it for something special. And so we did. We pretty much put like everything we had into Asteroid and made that, and now here we are. We've made so many other feature films, and Asteroid actually has made back its budget and then some. So
oh wow.
Yeah.
And I gotta imagine like a comedy set is just probably lighter toned, like in general, because you're working on something funny, whereas like you're doing a drama or doing a documentary about something that you really feel needs to be said. Or like even like a horror movie where you're shooting in the dark and it's cold and everything else. I can imagine like a comedy set is probably a way lighter tone and just have more fun fucking around, I guess.
It really kind of depends on the set, because like it's the same thing's always kind of said, where a lot of actors that are known for playing bad guys are actually like really cool and really sweet in person. And there's some famous comedians who are kind of assholes. And it just depends on the set. But I mean, the thing about horror is all the things you said are true, like especially low budget horror, like you're constantly fighting the light, you never have enough time, you never have enough money, you have to get through 12 pages in a day, with like 20 different setups, and it's just like go, go, go. So like the material might be more lighthearted in a comedy, but horror, I mean, like on a horror set, like everyone's just there to have a good time. I mean, like all film sets, everyone hopes to just show up and have a good time, but like horror especially, I think, is that genre where everyone's just like, all right, whose head are we tearing off today? Like who's getting covered in blood today? What crew member is going to step in for a background cameo? Like horror is like it's like the essence of independent filmmaking, because like it is, like I said, it is like usually so like bare bones and stripped down. But with that being said, horror also has the most dedicated fan base. Like
Yes.
there's not really like a comedy fan base in film, you know. I mean, there's people that like comedies, but like, I mean, Shudder is like a perfect example. Yeah. Hi. Shudder is a streaming service that exists specifically for horror movies, because horror just has a dedicated fandom. It just always has. Like out of all the movies that are made, out of all the genres, out of all the types, like horror is the one that has like a dedicated fan base. So, and that's kind of the refreshing thing too, because even if you are on like a nightmare horror movie set, you know what I mean, the set itself is actually a nightmare. At least at the end of the day, you can go home and be like, well, today fucking sucked, but I mean, I guess people will at least see this thing, so I suppose it's worth it.
Right.
And that was the great thing about Popeye, is that we knew people were going to see it. You know,
especially after the buzz with the Winnie the Pooh thing and how big that blew up. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like,
yeah, we knew it was going to be seen, and that was like the most refreshing part about it. Is like, yeah, the hours suck, and we're covered in dust, and we can't breathe, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and the sun's coming up, and we have like 5 more shots to get. But it was all worth it because we knew people were going to see it.
Right. That's awesome.
Man.
All right, what do we got next, Todd?
All right, another list of things you could say. Been doing this for a few weeks. Usually pretty good with them. I don't have any stump Joe today, so you don't got to worry about that one. But this is things you could say in traffic and in the bedroom. Why the fuck did you pull out? Look at this fucking asshole. That looks tight. I've been rear-ended. Fuck me. Buckle up. Hurry up, slowpoke. Come on, move.
I think I need some lube.
If you stop, I'm going to end up your ass. That's my spot. I think I can fit. Yeah, you could get a bus in there. Keep going.
Shit.
Faster. Don't stop. Yo, damn. Signal before you do that. Yeah, it'll fit. Park it in the back. A bit tight, but I'll get it in. Just force your way in. Do you need an invitation? That is things you could say in traffic and in the bedroom.
You forgot one.
What's that?
Police gave me a ticket.
Terrible.
Oh, that's fucking funny. Fuck you, Dad.
Hey, no, that's not nice. Yeah, but no, Dylan, thank you again for joining us.
Of course,
it was a pleasure again this Friday. Now, is it streaming as well, or is it just doing a short theatrical run and then streaming, or how is that working, or don't you know?
It's supposedly a day and date, so it's supposedly theaters and digital on the same day.
Okay.
Perfect.
So, you know, I have my feelings about that, because I mean, I wanted the theatrical run to be successful, but I guess at the same time, well, I mean, you know, it's like we're still kind of down the finish line, you know, down to the finish line on trying to get it done. So we'll see. But I mean, the theaters are lined up, and I mean, that's really kind of my hope, is that people go out and see this in theaters to support it. The good news is that it might be on digital in the States on the 21st, but I know that there's international theatrical that's lined up. I don't know if that's also happening on March 21st or if it's going to happen later. So yeah, I don't know. So that's currently the plan, and that's currently what we're being told, is March 21st, day and date, theatrical, and but not streaming. It'll be like transactional only. So, and then you know, they'll let that period run out, which is usually a couple months, and then they'll do, you know, probably like, you know, a streaming service, and we'll see.
Shudder.
Shudder would be great. I mean, if we had like an exclusive Shudder streaming deal, that'd be awesome. But I mean, that's kind of outside of my department, so we'll see. But really the most that I can hope for is that it's successful enough where maybe we get asked to make a sequel, maybe we get more money to do it, you know.
Well,
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
I don't know about you, Todd, but if another one gets made, or the next thing that you make, I would love to be a background person or audition for something, or like dead ass.
Technically,
I would love...
I am in Asteroid very, very briefly.
Yes, you are.
Vocally, I am.
Ooh.
I'm part of the radio that he's flipping through in the truck. Gotta listen for it. But I'm there.
But I know I would love.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To do that.
Yeah.
We could do, we could start doing like little Todd and Joe Easter eggs in your movies. In the background, me and Todd are just standing there, like smoking, like.
Oh shit. Find Todd and Joe. And of course, you can follow Otsego Media on Facebook. Do you guys have like Instagram and everything?
Yeah, follow us on Instagram. We post a lot more stuff on there. I mean, we cross post, but like our Instagram is really kind of the main place.
Nice.
Okay.
So there you go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we'll when the links and everything come out for where you can stream all those updates and everything, we'll absolutely share it, and we'll definitely talk about it when we're done. But anytime you want to come back on, even if you don't have anything to promote or anything, you just want to come kick it with us, feel free to reach out, let us know, buddy.
Cool.
I got some Carlin quotes to wrap it up. Carlin quotes because my name is Todd. And honestly, unfortunately, I might go through them again to see if I can pull other ones, but I think this is actually the end of the Carlin quotes, because that one I have, like, I'm at past, like, I'm done with page 15, so.
Well, then I will find quotes for next week. A list to go on.
Carlin quotes, wrapping it up. With the proper training, I could have been an evil genius. I was thinking about how people seem to read the Bible a lot more as they get older, and then it dawned on me. They're cramming for their final exam.
That's fun.
If you try to fail and succeed, which have you done? People say, I'm going to sleep now, as if we're nothing. But it's really a bizarre activity. For the next several hours while the sun is gone, I'm going to become unconscious, temporarily losing command over everything I know and understand. When the sun returns, I will resume my life.
It is, like, if you think about it, sleeping is such a weird fucking thing that we have to do. We have to, like, it's almost like a robot. Like, time to shut down.
Yeah.
And then you're just completely helpless, defenseless. Like,
yeah.
How did humans survive?
And this last one, all destinations are final. That's what it means. Destiny, final. If you haven't gotten to where you're going, you aren't there yet. Truth.
One of my favorites is
what's your name? Todd.
Because I travel a lot, and I hear the phrase a lot. What does it mean to pre-board? You get on before you get on? I like that. But he has, like, I can't even remember on which album, but he has like just a 15-minute diatribe just about fucking airplanes and airport security and just how dumb it all is. And this is, of course, all pre 9/11, so that's fun.
Yeah, no, Carlin was I don't know, my opinion, one of the smartest comedians to ever.
He was the smartest comedian. Yeah. Like, his perspective was so wild and so true. And he can say something and immediately change how you look at it just with a sentence. Like, he truly was a very intelligent, talented man.
Yeah. Unless he picked on your name, then. Then it was a sad day. Sad day.
Todd. All right, Dylan. I appreciate you coming on, buddy. And remember, next time you got a movie going, this is the moneymaker right here.
I will be sure to keep you in mind. You just have to come down to Oneonta for a day.
Not that far at all.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. I'm gonna go get ready for this film festival.
Well,
Awesome.
thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah.